Okay, that was strange. Apparently, like, the game just crashed after that. So, okay, let's not turn the thing on. I'm going to input the correct time, though. Well, that's the current time, so that's pretty accurate. Okay, let's hope the game doesn't crash. That'd be very... Hey, Stanley Parable 2!
This is the... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, so hopefully we're back again. I know there's like I played the regular version on Steam or whatever. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece. Haha, that's funny.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I mean, I don't want to crash the game again.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Remember when console games didn't used to crash?
But
it was mostly PC games that crashed.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ooh.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
We're all here, right? Okay, to watching. I have to make sure the video's working, because it'd be very... Okay, it's working. Okay. Hey, don't crash, game.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back,
hey, 4 people are watching.
From here, it's left.
Okay, narrator. I guess we have to follow.
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left,
Never really had
right.
that much viewer engagement.
Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Yeah. A truck.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How
Oh,
about, rather than
no.
waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
Alright. Oh. God, I'm getting scared whenever I see the loading
All of his
screen now.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright.
When Stanley... Wait,
Uh-oh.
what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Just gonna play the song. Ooh. Oh no.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Well, at least it's
Well,
not
I find it
Darkseid
unlikely that
2,
we'll ever
so
progress by
there's that.
starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
I wonder if I should live stream Darkseid 2 again, but like it was so painful the first time, man.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Like, I wanted to give that game a chance, but Jesus Christ. Oh no, it's gone.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from.
I'm just
Why don't we
gonna
go back
lie in
the
the
other
corner.
direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Interesting.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Alright.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so
Finally,
good
we
job.
won.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
This is really like one of those prototype Half-Life 2 maps. Hey!
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Okay. Alright. Line's the boss, I guess.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh yeah, the song. Sorry. Wow. Okay.
Wait,
technology.
Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Okay. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you,
what did
after
234 do?
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
234 catch missing now or something? Alright, Line.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting.
Windows 3.x.
Mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, it's midnight now.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
All right.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
All right. Okay, it's gone.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay,
this one.
So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny awaits.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. What's this?
Oh.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
Do that.
Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule?
17 seconds, 75 milliseconds.
Will something happen? So, okay.
Scream in a corner.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Look at that old-ass telephone. Who farted?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace
Number one,
of his
Dad.
co-workers.
Bucket!
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
All right.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Wasn't it like an episode of Recess or something where they went into like the teacher's lounge or something, and then like there was like the real teacher's lounge, and it was like
the bucket was a grand
an actual
adventure.
lounge.
Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First,
was that Recess or was that
door on
something
the right,
else? I
then
forget.
Walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Yeah, Recess was a show. It's one of those Disney Saturday morning or afternoon
Perhaps
shows.
This was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Oh, what's the funny fact?
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
That's awesome. I barely share a last name with anyone, really. So I mean, it's kind of up for debate what you think my last name is, whether it's my actual last name or my legal last name. Because the actual last name's Italian.
The bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
Bit of a TMI thing,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Okay.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose
Who
not to
knows?
think about this obvious
Who knows?
fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
B1. Whenever I see, like, you know, text on, like, yeah, text like that on the wall, I just remember, like, Disney, like, that Disney racing game on the N64 with, like, Mickey and Friends, where, like, that Rare developed, and it had, like, had that San Francisco level or something, where they were, like, at a bay or something. And, like, it said Bay 1, but, like, the way it looked like it said it looked like it said Say 1, and I was, like, confused as a kid.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone?
I don't know.
Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk.
It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Narrator's yelling at me.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is.
Oh, boy.
It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Oh, boy.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of
Looks like Seymour
expectations
Skinner.
management, which is the cornerstone of good
Almost.
comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey,
Okay.
goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of
Little.
proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Alright, bank account. I mean, credit card, or whatever. We got credit cards paid off. I mean, probably. I mean, who knows?
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we have the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
It kind of reminds me, like, yeah, didn't Leisure Suit Larry 8, like, have that weird-ass, like, environmental storytelling in one of the libraries where, like, they talked of, like, some robot invasion? But then again, like, Leisure Suit Larry 8 is not canon, so whatever. It doesn't even have Larry Laffer, who sadly the original voice of Larry Laffer is no longer with us anymore. He died like a couple months ago. Rest in peace, man. I played Leisure Suit Larry 6 and it was pretty fun, and I'm trying to play through 7 right now, but man, the liar's dice part is...
Here we go.
I'm not good at that stuff.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I kind of want to stream Leisure Suit Larry, but
you
that's...
were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone.
But,
Did you not
yeah,
even look at the
obvious
instructional
reasons.
video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
going to
cowering
be
in the
ridiculed
corner
in the community
now.
of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm
Here we
not
go.
streaming it.
You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Now, technically, like, Leisure Suit Larry is not, like, a full-on lewd game. At least.
What? We're back at the phone
There's
already.
lewd themes.
No, what's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up
And
to
that
this.
one joke in
There was
Leisure Suit
supposed to be a
Larry 6
build-up
probably
to this
wouldn't
point.
fly.
A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit, which culminates in this scene with the phone.
Leisure
Now
Suit
the timing
Larry
completely
7
off.
actually
Joke
has
never
lewd
land.
scenes, though.
Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone
Power of the
room comes
PS5
immediately
right
after
here.
the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
Oh, God.
Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other...
So are we done with the funny?
Pale
Hey, it's
in
us.
comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I
Kevin
heard that you are
Brighting.
pale with shame over how
William
unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery?
Michael
Pale
Cox.
with shame. Pale with shame. Pale... What's another word to describe...
No
a bucket?
joke, I knew someone named Andrew
I
Cox.
think I saw him playing guitar.
And of course he got bullied for that name.
No. We're getting away from
For obvious
making fun of
reasons.
Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
Oh, poor...
Let's see.
Hey, they credited Valve. I knew there were some Valve assets. It's too bad about Leroy. Phew. Game didn't crash.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's like PC gaming in the 90s. You just hope to God it doesn't crash. Hey, someone's playing solitaire or something. I don't know. That's the thing about PC gaming in the 90s. It was like all about like hoping to God it doesn't crash. Input received.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Yeah.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go
Okay.
there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's
Hey, a
something
balloon.
up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley
Really?
chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Look at that balloon. I need to
In
like
here,
finish
said the bucket.
Phantasmagoria.
Go into
one
this
day,
dark
though.
room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Alright, Bucket.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Alright. Hello?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Phantasmagoria is a pretty neat game. I want to play, like, Phantasmagoria 2 on stream again. Well, I mean, Phantasmagoria has some scenes, but, like, I could just, like, blank out the screen.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Yeah, I mean, I blanked out some scenes, and now it's just the ending part, the chase scene that I have to do. And, like, there's not really any, like, not safe for work parts there besides, like, being gored to death, but, you know, there's, like, lots of games with that. Where'd the bucket go? Bucket, bucket, who's got the bucket? Bucket. Oh, there. Yeah, we're bucking now.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll
Jazz
listen to me.
music.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Remember when Portal was still fresh on everyone's mind and everyone was going on about the companion cube? That was a time to be
You
alive.
see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is
That's
this
a game for an
awful
Invader
bucket,
Zim
this stupid
audience.
hunk of metal. It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Sort of does. Well, I mean, you are real. I can touch you.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average
Like
hardware
what?
store
Is it a
bucket.
fake button?
It's just a little
fake
more, what am I trying to say?
bucket?
Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Yeah, can you imagine if it was like a fake bucket, like just didn't exist?
Oh my God,
That'd be
what am I
awkward.
saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a
It
bucket.
reminds
It's
me of that
literally
one
just a
co-screen
bucket.
cap where like someone
Why do I
just
feel
said,
some
like,
need to
of course
point out
it's a
the
real
ways in which
image.
it's
I
so
posted
much
it, didn't
more
I?
than just a regular bucket.
That made me laugh.
Oh no. I'm having feelings
Uh-oh.
for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
How? Okay, don't crash. Thank God.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Yeah. Input received. What to do?
The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Good old bucket. 4:15.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Just thinking for a while.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Is this just going to do like the confusion ending again? Or did they add more variables?
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Something new. There's a
You
baby.
see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come
No
together
nipples.
here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Hey! Ba-da-ba-da-da-da-dum.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it
Can I
was
get
back then. Let's do it for
rating
the
up?
fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh no. Adventure line. Adventure line. Oh.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I don't know why this, like,
now
map...
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Join the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and
Yeah, this kind of reminded me of that one Portal 2 multiplayer map. For some reason. That one that always
Bucket
gives everyone
Destroyer,
trouble.
My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Hey, someone's following me on Twitch. Welcome, Tomo Haas, or whatever. Welcome to the team. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hey, there's the bucket. Okay, this is awkward because everything is, you know. But wait, I'm confused.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Let's go down here again. I wonder what will happen.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place
what?
eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom
Trademark.
Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
So, theoretically, we could go into an infinite
Who knows
loop
where it'll
here.
go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Trademark. So, what, Stephen King said?
Now this is what the
That's the
Stanley
one
Parable is all
trademarkable
about.
it
Don't
that I
you
can
remember
think of.
all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the
Drugs
fans,
and
Stanley.
hookers.
Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Well, we might as well do something different this time.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Goodbye, Bucket. Bucket. Bucket?
Now
Oh
listen
my
to
god.
me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
It won't let me.
I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Okay, so we could theoretically be in an infinite loop if we just choose this route. So, I mean, unlike
Bucket
Portal, it
Destroyer,
won't let us.
my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Okay, so don't do that route again. Loading.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it?
What?
Is this Stanley's office?
Yeah. Isn't it? Hey, there's the bucket. Let's ignore the bucket this time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. This picture.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Isn't that just American healthcare?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
I thought there was no door there.
To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's been waiting?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her.
Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh, no.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
That just
I'm
hits
trying to
too
get you
close
to see
to home.
something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his
I have a
existence.
better microwave or toaster oven.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home.
Actually, yeah, that's
now
a toaster oven.
He's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
Oh, no.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, I'm resisting. It's really sad that, like, the PS5 just kind of, like, got rid of the colored buttons and now they're just all, like, white. What a downgrade. Forget, did the PS4... Hold on, I have a PS4 controller here. I'm not gonna reach it. I think it did have colored buttons. Oops.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see?
This
How can
ending.
I make him look at himself?
I remember this ending.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to.
This is the ending with
make
the
rules. I simply play to my intended purpose.
with the
same as
stairs,
Stanley.
right?
We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Okay, it's not that ending, I think. Oh, God.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Hey, a bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Let's admire that
And
employee
here it was,
lounge.
the lounge.
The vending
What a
machine.
room, Stanley thought to himself. What a room, what a room, what a room. This is what Stanley thought. What a room. What a room, what a room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
You know, apparently, like, the Coca-Cola company remembers me for drinking a Coca-Cola bottle. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
I think that requires a bit more context. Basically, like,
but the fact is
we
that the
visited,
story
like,
has
the
been about
Coca-Cola,
nothing but you all this
we
time.
visited World of Coke
There's someone
back in,
you've
like,
been neglecting,
2008
Stanley.
for, like, the
Someone
second
you've forgotten
time.
about.
And then,
Please,
like,
stop trying to make
we got,
every
like, souvenir
decision by
Coke
yourself.
bottles, and I,
I'm
like,
not
drank
asking
one of
for
them.
me, I'm
And, like,
asking
Dad
for
was just
you.
kind of, like...
This is it, Stanley. Your
Dad just,
chance
like,
to
called them
redeem
and said,
yourself,
my son
to put
just
your
drank your
work
Coke
aside,
bottle.
to let her
And then
back
years
into your
later, in,
life.
like, freshman
She's
in high
been
school,
waiting.
about, like, 2010 or 2011 or so, like, you know, I was drinking, like, Mr. Pibb, and, like, one of the teachers, like, called Coca-Cola saying, hey, this guy likes, you know, drinking Mr. Pibb. And then they said, like, oh yeah, that's the same guy who drank that souvenir Coke bottle. So yeah, apparently I'm known by Coca-Cola, but I don't know. Granted, I mean, there are, you know, 2008 and 2010 or 2011, it's like, are only like 3 years apart, so I don't know if they still know.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read.
That's topical.
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
There's no one here.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful,
I meant physically
a
here.
significant contribution to the world, just remember
of course you're here.
Infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems
But in my
are
room,
materially
there's
insignificant,
just me.
and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and
Just
reinforce
me,
the
my
material covered in
computer,
this
my
video.
Taito F3,
Welcome
a bunch
back.
of
You may have noticed that
CRT
this room has begun
monitors.
to deteriorate as a result of
Oh,
narrative
God.
contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making,
Oh, yeah,
we're
Sony
going
stuff.
to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay. So, funny thing is, like, senior year of high school in a different high school, because I moved, we had, like, this project in one class, where we sent, like, a business letter to, you know, a company of our choice, and, like, since I was, like, drinking Dr. Pepper at the time, and I still do, I sent it to, like, some guy at Dr. Pepper, and, like, you know, I asked for, like, you know, cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper, and I got free cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper and a bunch of, like, hundreds of dollars worth of coupons. It was crazy. True story.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful,
It's like the
we
one
can't have you
student who
jumping off
got
the platform
something.
and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would
crazy.
make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
I mean, there was that one kid, like, you know, years ago in that same class, in, you know, the class years ago, who wrote, like, a letter to Nike and got, like, an autographed poster and, like, Jordans or something, I think. That's crazy. It's one of those projects where, like, you hear about, like, you know, fantasy scenarios, but then it likely doesn't happen. Your year or something.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
It reminds me of, like, 5th grade where I, like, wrote a letter to James Howe for, like, you know, one of those letters to the author,
all
like,
you need to do is behave exactly as
projects.
Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
But I didn't
quite sure you'll be up to the task.
I didn't get a response.
Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
I was very
When
disappointed.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Maybe it was for the
door
better.
on his left.
I don't know. James Howe is doing good for himself.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Can't go downstairs this time. Can't go into the executive washroom. Oh.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Nightshark 115. Whatever. Game? Hello? Oh no.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Nightshark 115. Am I supposed to... Would it ever
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story.
I guess this is a joke.
Step.
Nightshark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect.
I mean, voice recognition kind of is a joke,
what it
but
means to take a story seriously.
I guess now it's not too much of a joke because Alexa.
Then why did you come here? You had a choice, you
God,
know.
I'm thirsty.
You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right. I guess voice recognition has gotten better.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
That's something.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't can't believe, after everything we talked about, that
It's okay.
my story, you've destroyed my work.
Flick.
Why? For what?
So
What did you
flick.
get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Alright, see ya, Lord Ralias or whatever. Alright. Thank you. Oh god. Oh no.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever.
Yeah.
Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
Probably stop the
You just had
stream
to
soon
see.
anyways.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn
It's
good
not like
reason
I have
for it.
any
That
responsibilities.
thought hadn't
I mean,
even
I'm sure I
occurred to
do,
you,
but
had it? That there's a
not
world
really.
outside of you. You're a child.
Hey, narrator, you don't have to rub that in.
Story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Forgot, wasn't, like,
Hello?
Bob Shipman the guy who,
Is
like,
everything
voiced
okay?
that, like, weird
Stanley,
thing?
please. I need you to make a choice.
God,
I
imagine
need you to
getting
walk
Bob
through the
Shipman,
door. Are you listening to me?
of
Can
all
you hear me?
people.
Is everything
I'm
all right?
sorry.
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take
22nd
that step
century
forward,
toys.
please. Choose. Do something.
Hey,
Anything.
PlayStation.
This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
Jesus.
Okay. It's okay, I can wait.
Okay, thank God, no
You
Bob
need time to
Shipman.
decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best.
Valve support
choice.
team. Hi, this is Escape
That's all
Newell.
right.
Welcome to
I'll
Stanley
wait for
Parable.
you to decide what's the right thing to do.
I can be reached at
Take as much time as you need.
GABEN at valvesoftware.com. Thanks, and have fun. I've been told like I have a good Gabe Newell impression. I think that should be all for tonight. Yeah, I think I've had enough. See ya. Oh God.